In this video, I'm going to be showing you sample number 7, which is called the flat fell seam. And basically it is a seam that looks exactly the same on both sides, and it is interlocked into each other. So let's go ahead and start at the first step. First step, as usual, get your fabric cut out, make sure that the panels are the exact same size, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so once you've cut out your two identical pieces, the next thing you want to do is get out a ruler, and you want to draw, preferably with pencil, a 1/2 inch on both pieces. I'm just doing it in pen just so you can see a little better. Alright. And then what you're going to do is fold both of these with your fingernail, or you can do it with the iron. So go ahead and fold them. Okay, so I have officially finished folding both pieces, and you might notice that my flaps are like uneven. So this is where my mini lecture comes into play, and I basically want to emphasize that everything you do in the process of apparel making relies on the quality of the previous step. So if you make a mistake in the beginning, it will reflect in the rest of the process, and it is a domino effect. So I highly, strongly encourage you to make your cutting and your pieces as even and accurate and straight as possible, because then it will make the rest of the steps in any process of sewing that much easier and better, and they will just work better. So try again to practice slowing down, taking quality time, and be really thorough and thoughtful about how straight you cut, how straight you measure, etc. Okay, so when you're ready to put them together, they're basically going to interlock, and they're going to be flat, and it's going to look exactly the same on both sides. So basically what I'm doing is I'm interlocking them like this. See how one is going inside the other, and they're like opposites. So if you're kind of having trouble, just play around with it. Maybe stick one flap up like this, and then gently place the other on top, and then push it down like this. But you need to make sure that these are flat, and that this is flat, and that it looks the same on both sides. Just like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your pins, and then you're going to pin this flat so they don't shift around everywhere. So again, I know I'm going to sew from the top down. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to pull my pins out on the right. So I'm going to aim a pin right here, and just kind of making sure I'm like shoving them together, making sure that the edges are touching as close as possible on the inside. I'll probably throw one in the middle next. And then on the bottom. So another trick for pinning, you can kind of, while it's flat, kind of just stick the little needle in, kind of come up underneath, and then push it through, and then immediately leverage it. And just for quality assurance, I'm just going to stick maybe 2 more in. Okay, so now I'm going to examine. Yes, it looks the same on both sides. I notice that they pretty much, the flaps touch each other on the inside. Very good. Okay, so now I'm ready for sewing. And it's basically going to be 1/8 inch or inner width of the presser foot. And we'll start on this side. So let me take you to the sewing machine and show you what I mean. Okay, so in order to get that very narrow, like 1/8 inch seam allowance, we're going to need to align this edge right here with this inner edge of the presser foot. So when you put your fabric up here, you'll make sure this edge of the fabric aligns with that inner hole of the foot. Okay, so I'll start sewing, back stitch, pull out my pin so it doesn't go flying, pull it out before I get to it. And this part of the foot is exactly the same as this right inside of the hole. So I'm actually using this inner edge of this little toe, I guess I'll call it, as my guideline. Don't forget to backstitch before you reach the end. And that is a very nice 1/8 inch seam allowance there, but we're not done. So then we need to do one on this side. So I recommend that you just honestly flip it over. I think that's kind of the easiest. And then you just do the same thing. Align that edge with that toe. Forget to backstitch, and voila! Okay, let's take a look at it. So that here is a flat fell seam. It looks the exact same on both sides, and there are no raw edges.